Hi, I'm Ketki,
And I'm Sanaya.
and we're Thinking People. Today, we're thinking about Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl. We do a song-by-song breakdown of the album, its hits and misses, and how its themes relate to broader cultural discourses.
Life moves fast. Tune in to think about it.
Okay. Hello. Good evening, Sanaya. How are you?
I just can't believe we're here.
We are
I-
here.
I honestly thought I wouldn't be able to do this.
Really? Oh, wow.
On October 4th,
Mm.
I was like, can I even level-headedly speak about this album?
Mm.
Do I
Okay.
want to? I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. I needed 1 month to pass, essentially.
I know what you mean. Okay. So this in question is obviously talking about The Life of a Showgirl, an album that came out 1 month, 3 days ago, on October 3rd, 2025. We have feelings, we have thoughts about it. Before we get into that, I know we have thought about like what we want to, maybe like the structure to this conversation and stuff, but I actually want to ask you a question without explaining too much.
Yeah.
Just give me a yes or a no.
Okay.
Do you like this album?
No.
Also no.
No.
I mean, yes, no. I just wanted to like, put it out there.
TLDR.
TLDR. Yeah.
Everyone can stop listening now.
Yeah.
If that's what you wanted to know.
Yeah.
I do not like this album.
You do not. Yeah. I also do not like this album. Okay, I have many thoughts and I feel like
Yeah?
we'll get into it. But so let's get into it. Okay.
Yeah. So just to orient this
Yeah.
entire discussion, right? Life of a Showgirl, 12th studio album by Taylor Swift, comes on the heels of Tortured Poets Department, which was already like an album that had some mixed reception. I happen to like it very much. My number 4 album. Check out our previous episode if you want to know where that landed for both of us.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. But some facts, okay? This was entirely produced by Max Martin, Shellback, and Taylor herself. She was reuniting with these powerhouse pop producers for the first time since Reputation. All songs entirely written by Taylor.
Yes.
For the first time since Speak Now.
Yeah.
And side note, brain rot comes for us all? Question mark. This album has sold more than 4 million copies in its first week. It's shattered all previously held records. This has also come on the heels of Taylor announcing countdowns to multiple variants of this album. I don't think the number of variants is very different from previous albums, but I do think the way in which she marketed each variant is markedly different. And now we are sitting today on November 6th. The Fate of Ophelia, the first track on the album and the lead single, has held the number 1 spot on the Hot 100 for 3 weeks. So, yes, this album, obviously the commercial crowning achievement of her career, but I don't know, is this the most polarizing in terms of fan and critical reception?
It's hard. I was thinking about this. It's hard to say because I mean she's had other polarizing albums, right? Like Reputation was a polarizing album. Tortured Poets Department was a polarizing album to some degree. I do feel like the sense that I get is that more fans are turned off than ever before the release of this album than they were with Reputation or with Tortured Poets. I feel like her loyalists were still very much her loyalists, and I feel like the commercial numbers that we're seeing are a result of the pre-sales as opposed to I mean again, I don't have the data on this, but this is just my gut saying that that's what it is more than anything else. And it's a commercial success because of a very, very robust business strategy.
Yes.
More than anything else. Because the other thing, as you were saying all of this, yes, it's a a crowning glory in that sense. But culturally, I don't think that this album
Yep.
has made any kind of a dent, really. Like,
Yeah.
it of course drove conversations, still is continuing to do so, but it was a flash in the pan. It sort of went away after like 2 weeks, and that's not really normal for a Taylor release.
Yes, I think it's good that we're having this conversation a month later when some of the noise has died down.
Yeah.
Both for me personally to be capable of having this conversation, but also for us to have a little more clarity about what this album is and maybe have a more measured response to it.
Yeah.
So let's just go back to October 3rd.
Yeah.
Can you tell me your initial reaction to the album and can you describe your first listen for me?
So I was in Japan. I was in
Millennial goals. Yeah.
I know. I was in Nara Park,
Mm.
and I had like this whole day planned out, and I thought, oh, okay, I'm gonna do the day, and then I'm gonna find like a quiet spot and listen to the album. But the album actually came out earlier than I thought it was going to come out, so I like had miscalculated the time or whatever. So basically, when I reached Nara Park, the album was already out. And then I was like, okay, should I listen to it? Should I not listen to it? And I just had to, because I was obviously very, very curious. Go to a cafe, get myself a coffee, and start listening to the album. And
Were you
I
like reading the lyrics side by side?
I was reading the lyrics. Yes, I was reading the lyrics. It was a wash. Like the first listen, I felt nothing for the first, I would say, like 2 or 3 songs. As I got into like Eldest Daughter, and then as I got into like Wishlist, Wood, and Cancelled, I think it went from me feeling like, okay, this is average, to like my jaw dropping, because I was like, I'm horrified at what is in these lyrics.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening here? What am I meant to be taking away from this? I came out of that first listen feeling a little pissed off, actually. Like, I actually remember feeling irritable after listening to that,
Yeah.
to the album for the first time. And I remember texting you about it also, where I was just like, I did not enjoy that at all. And
Yeah.
I know some people really like the melodies also, and I still feel this way, that I don't enjoy a lot of the melodies on this album.
Yeah.
If you disregard the lyrics and things like that. So even melodically, it didn't really do anything for me. Like, I was going into it expecting something, and it just didn't turn out to be that. Like, so there was,
Yeah.
like, she had sold this album as like this bangers only. So my mind was thinking, okay, Max Martin, it's gonna have like that punch, that Taylor pop punch, that Max Martin punch. But it was not that. It was kind of dull. It was just kind of,
Yeah.
so I didn't feel like I got anything from it. So I have listened to it a bunch, obviously, since. And I mean, I think my critique of it has also evolved. There are some songs I like more, some songs I like even less.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first experience. What was yours like?
So I was at home. I had a new pair of headphones. So I said, just right on time to listen to this album. Let's do it. I pressed play. I was looking at the lyrics side by side as well. And, I was even messaging a friend on the side. And I think the first few songs, I was puzzled, but I was like, hey, this is kind of catchy. Like, like there was this not horrendously negative response to the first few songs. So when you go from like Fate of Ophelia up until Father Figure, and at Father Figure, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Like there's something interesting happening here lyrically. I remember liking Opalite. So I was okay for the first 4 songs. And I think the minute we got into Eldest Daughter, and then went from there to Ruin the Friendship, to Actually Romantic, to Wishlist, to Wood, and then to Cancelled. Okay, like that entire stretch, I thought I was being punched in the face repeatedly. Like,
horrible. Yeah.
I
not good.
like, okay, so eldest daughter and, actually romantic ruin the friendship, all of that is fine. I think the moment when I was like, the album lost me completely was actually Wishlist, which I think like I hate on multiple levels. I hate that song on multiple levels. I hate it because it sounds exactly like Glitch. Like, please try. I don't want to be told it's intentional when she makes her songs sound like older songs because she wants to make mashups, or because she's like referencing the emotion or the narrative in an earlier song. So this has like some meta-ness happening over here. But I'm definitely one of the fans who's lost at Have a Couple Kids, Get the Whole Block Looking Like You. I think she loses me there, and then she comes at me with fucking Wood.
Yeah.
Like right after that. And right after that is cancelled. So
which, in my opinion, is the worst song on this in her discography, probably, because I can't think of a more
low.
I can't think of a more tone deaf song that any artist has written in the recent past. I mean, especially of her stature, right? Like it's ridiculous. But okay, since we are, I mean, of course, we have to talk about the songs. I'm wondering, should we go one by one on the track list and then talk about the songs? Because I feel like that may also kind of help us sort of talk about, like, okay, what did we feel when we first listened to this song and versus now. So, first song, lead single, Fate of Ophelia. What do you think about it? How do you feel like it sits in terms of openers in the context of her discography, and also as a lead single?
Yeah, I know. We spoke so much
about openers.
The first song on an album. Oh, I do have to say this. I missed mentioning this as a part of my album listening experience. I do have to say that I was driven to listening to Brian Eno to try and get away from the noise. I could not listen to this album again for the next 2 weeks. And then when I finally did listen to it again, I had to physically go to a forest to listen to it, like to get myself away from like traffic sounds and literal noise, so that I could just like in a clear-headed way receive this album. So I will talk about the Fate of Ophelia in this context of me trying to cleanse my brain.
Right.
I will say that I do think she puts narcotics in her songs because I did not listen to them for 2 weeks, but I felt like every single one of them was seared in my brain. I don't know how her songs have that quality. So I did Fate of Ophelia. My immediate thought was that, okay, like when we hit the chorus, I'm like, okay, this is like a sticky chorus. It sticks. But then the more I thought about the themes, which is like a recurring thing in this album for me, in my reaction to it, I just cannot get behind this narrative of her needing to be saved.
Yeah.
Which is the picture that she paints. And there are moments in the album, like musical, lyrical moments, that I do still really enjoy. Like, I do like the way in which she, combines this olden style of writing and like using language in a way that Shakespeare would, and combining that with something that's more modern. I think that's fun. Like, I enjoy that in general. There was like this line in which she says, "Tis locked inside my memory," and her use of the word "tis," I just found that really funny. So I liked it on that lyrical musical level, but I feel like the theme that she introduces, which in terms of the opener orienting you in a certain way, I guess makes sense, because this album, she is stating right up front, is an album about how tragically depressed she was, and how Travis Kelce has saved her from her melancholia, from her life of being condemned to her tower.
Yeah. I mean, she has sung about beings. Like, I mean, I guess, like, firstly, she looks at a lot of like Shakespeare and Shakespearean and Victorian era references to make parallels with them in her music. She does do that a lot, obviously, like Love Story being the biggest one. And even in that song, she sings about Romeo, save me. But it feels different on this track. Like it's a very, I think it's also the larger context because, okay, I'll tell you the biggest thing I felt when I was listening to this album. Of course, I felt this with other albums as well. But when you listen to a Taylor Swift album, you are listening to a Taylor Swift album in the sense that you cannot remove the person from the art ever. And that to me, I feel like now has started to become a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Wherein I feel like if I was listening to this song in isolation, it doesn't feel as, it's fine. Like I think, okay, I know she's referencing Hamlet. The parallel doesn't exactly make a lot of sense because if you actually look into the fate of Ophelia, it's
Yeah.
like it's a stretch, Taylor. Like, okay, sure. But I feel like I would have still kind of bought into it, or I would have been there with her had I not known the larger context of her life and had I not been like consuming her relationship and thinking about like I think that has marred a lot of the experience of also listening to this album. So there are moments on this album where I've literally I have actually I've written this down in my notes where I'm like, if this song was not about Travis Kelce,
How would you
it,
feel?
it would
Yeah.
be probably better, or I would perceive it differently. And I feel that way even about this title track. And I also think that she's written in lyrics which she would never write ever.
Yeah.
For example, she says, "Keep it 100 on the land, the sea, the sky." That just pisses me off. Because what does that even? Firstly, what does that even fucking mean? Like, and why is there this like Ophelia illusion? And then you just completely move away from that and have like I don't know, like an internet lingo phrase there. Like, what's happening? And so that I think completely, like the "Keep It 100" takes me out of the song entirely. Like I was there. I'm like, okay, you know what? You're singing about being saved. Sure. Like at this point, I'm like, okay, it's a little like it's interesting, but
Yeah.
it's not like offensive to me at this point. I'm like, fine, you're using this reference. Having listened to your previous album, I kind of get it. Sure, you were,
Mm.
really, really heartbroken. This person did kind of, in a sense, save you from that. Sure, okay. But I know it's not the most empowering lyric, but at the same time, I was like, fine. It's like I don't want to invalidate her feelings. But it's, to me, it's like when she brings in these phrases, which she's clearly written in for Travis, that's when I start to get like pissed off. But I'm like,
So
what is this?
So I will say, okay, the difference between this and Love Story, I think, is number one, that Love Story is a fantasy that she's singing about.
Yeah.
She's not really, that's like basically storytelling, Taylor, right?
Yeah.
She's
It's true.
not directly singing from her personal experience. And if you think about it, I was listening to the podcast Pop Pantheon where they said a really interesting thing about that song, which is that the only thing that really happens to Taylor in that song is that she sees the guy. We were both young when I first saw you, and then the flashback starts. And
Yeah.
the entire flashback is fantasy,
Yeah.
right? So it's not real. It's you can chalk that down to the fantasy of an 18-year-old
Yeah.
and someone who read Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet and said, I want it to happen, I want it to end differently. This particular song and this album and what you're talking about, right? I do think that combination of like to use her own parlance, like quill pen lyrics and glitter gel pen lyrics, like the that combination of language is her specialty. I think
Yeah.
she's used it to like great effect before. The issue is that I think the cardinal sin that she is breaking, which bothers me and maybe is bothering you as well, is that this is a person who, while she has left Easter eggs about who a song is about in her liner notes, in her lyrics, she has always maintained that I never say who a song is about. She may call a song Dear John, but she will never say it's about John Mayer, right? And
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
never. But I think the way in which she has made all of these songs undoubtedly about Travis in such an explicit way, you can't not think of him, right?
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, I feel like she's done that with Joe also. Like London Boy. I mean, come on.
No, anyone who's dating any London boy can decide this song is
Okay.
about my London
It's not
boy.
hyper specific in that sense. Where like calling out his podcast name, for example.
Your team, who like she, the guy she's singing about has a team, has a podcast called New Heights. Like, is the younger brother of some other person. Like, this is the first time I think that this is a human being who's been in incredibly like public relationships with like celebrities in the past, but this is the first time she has sung about her celebrity boyfriend / fiance in a way that it is unmistakably about him. And she's even going on record to say that I put the words keep it 100 because of the numerology behind his shirt number and my favorite number adding up to 100.
Oh God.
So like that's the frustrating bit, because people don't only listen to Taylor Swift because it's like catchy fucking music, right? Like they're also listening to Taylor Swift because they can apply it to their own lives. But if it's so obviously like this narrative about Travis Kelce, like at least that's the thing that blocks me from enjoying a song more.
Because it's like, how do I relate to this? Or what sense do I make of it? And it's not like if he was an exciting public figure for us, sure. That's one thing.
I actually there's a part of me that feels that, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe if it was someone else, but it's like, even if the song is not relatable to me, like for example, like I don't love this song, but like a cowboy like me, I can't relate to that song. I have nothing. I have nothing to do with that song.
You don't need to relate to music in that sense. Yeah.
But why is it that she's leaving me with no choice but to think about Travis Kelce? Right? That is one of my biggest frustrations here.
I think she's shoving her relationships down our throats.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, I do want to go back to the track list, which is the second song, which is Elizabeth Taylor. Yeah.
Do you think it's forever?
I like this song. I can tell you like it too. Do you like it?
I don't dislike it. I just don't go back to it. I feel like I've reached a point where I'm kind of getting sick of her singing about being a victim. And this is that same thing regurgitated in a different way again, where it's like, New York hates me, so be my NY when Hollywood hates me. Sorry.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about how she's contending with her fame, and I don't know, I feel like she's done it in better ways on other tracks, and it's fine. It's not a bad song, but it's not her. Like she has better songs about this theme, and I also think that the melody doesn't stick out for me as much. Like, so I haven't necessarily found it to be catchy either. So I'm just very okay, sure.
So this song actually like brings to mind another theme. I think there are two broad themes in this album. One is Travis Kelce relationship, and the other two is like what this album is supposedly about, which is the life of a showgirl, Taylor, and her position as a performer, a pop star, a pop artist. And I think that she really, as you said, like, in playing this role of someone who's being targeted, if not victimized, but like targeted, she's really taking on this adversarial position. It's like her against this wider pop ecosystem.
Yeah.
It's like this expansion of Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. I feel strains of that quite a bit. But what was your takeaway? I feel like this song and the title track are most directly related to the theme of this album, right?
For sure.
So what did you think about Taylor as a pop star and her role as a showgirl? And
I mean, I think the biggest thing that comes through is like she clearly has a very complicated relationship with it, right? And again, she sung about that time and time again, which is why for me, I just felt like it didn't offer any new perspective, at least. And she also has sung about Elizabeth Taylor, like has referenced her in an older song.
Burton to this Taylor.
Yeah. Right. I don't know, man. Like do you have an answer to this?
Yeah, I was thinking about this a lot because I feel like I keep thinking about her commercial ambitions, her artistic ambitions, and the fact that the money making machine seems to have like overtaken her artistic pursuits right now. And I've always wondered, like, what is motivating her, right? She's
Yeah.
spoken about legacy in this very press tour that she's doing. She's doing way more press than she ever has. And honestly, my biggest reaction to her doing press has been, please do less press,
Yeah.
or but she did say, she said that in the first week after my album comes out, if my name is on your lips, you're helping me, right? So she has that understanding. And in Elizabeth Taylor, she says, you're only as hot as your last hit, baby,
Yeah.
right? So she has that understanding of like the life cycle of a pop star, at what point you sort of, have reached your use by date, right? And there are these other references to her being in this position of complete dominance, but I feel like she does feel insecure about that position, which is what motivates like insane tactics to make more money, right? To shatter every record ever made in every domain, right? Like
But
things
do you
that you
think
wouldn't
that
even
comes
think of.
through on the song?
I think that not this song specifically, but I do think it's interesting that she is invoking Elizabeth Taylor, a woman who like famously had like 7 or 8 marriages.
Right.
But she's like using it to describe what is apparently her endgame. Right? Like it's weird, which makes me wonder, like, does she see herself as this figure who is always going to be put through this churn? Right? Like it's like there is a sense that I get, like, why is she selling this so hard? Like,
Yeah.
is there something that she thinks is not going to work out over here? I've been feeling this since Tortured Poets, where I'm like, okay, this is a woman who's insecure about her position, even though she's making the most money. Maybe I don't feel it directly in this song, but I do feel it in like Father Figure, which we can get to, where she's like coming into that power. She's like, okay, I am this powerful person. And in Life of a Showgirl itself, like she talks about it, right? Like the title track towards the end.
Yeah.
So I feel like
I will
Yeah,
get
go
to
on.
it, but I do feel like those two songs are better and more interesting explorations of this theme.
Yeah.
For this one, I just like it was just a lot of name dropping, and that's why I just felt like
Right.
it didn't land as much for me. But in Father Figure, I'll get to it. Maybe okay. We'll get to it when we get to it. But it
We
is
get to it when we get to it. Yeah.
so yeah. But I do think that both of those songs do a better job of exploring the showgirl theme.
Yeah. Elizabeth Taylor, for some reason, makes me think, like, I mean, she does talk about it, right? Like, I'd cry my eyes violet, like, if you ever left me, right?
Yeah.
The precarity of her position. I felt like this was the song that kind of addresses that. And even, this whole idea of you're only as hot as your last hit, baby. I keep thinking about that because I'm like, what was Taylor Swift's last hit? What do you think was Taylor Swift's last hit?
Man, that's a tough one.
Like her genuine last hit.
I can't even say Cruel Summer because it's like after it's released it as a single later on.
You could maybe say that All Too Well 10 Minute, maybe.
Yeah, I think that was the one. And when we're saying hits, we're not talking numbers. We're talking about a song that dominated cultural conversation in a sense. And I would say it's All Too Well 10 Minutes version. Nothing since.
I feel like some people might even say that her last undisputed hit was from 1989. The songs from 1989. Like the kind of world dominating hits. She's not had those kinds of hits since then. So yeah, I find that very revealing. Also, the fact that she's now returned to the producers who could maybe give her a new hit. Right? So yeah, I feel like the song, there's more than meets the eye with this song.
Right.
I found that interesting, for sure.
Okay. Number 3, Opalite. This is actually one of the songs which I did not mind on my first listen.
Yep.
It is among the catchier tracks on this track list. I think, it's a sweet song. I think it even takes me out of a relationship, to be honest.
Oh, 100%.
Although apparently she's referencing the opal stone, which is Travis Kelce's birthstone. See, why do I know these things? I don't want to know these things, but I know these things.
Oh my
Um,
God.
it's a fun, catchy track. It doesn't have lasting power, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it does. I don't go back to this song again on this
Yeah.
album. It doesn't hold a lot of power. I think it's one of those songs which it's kind of like as it was. I was thinking about that song in the similar context. What I mean by that is when that song came out, I thought it was very catchy and I was listening to it all of the time. And
Mm.
now when I listen to it, it's kind of like, okay, it feels dated.
Mm.
It feels like it's run its course, and I think a similar thing will happen to me with this song. It's kind of already started to happen where I'm like, okay, yeah, it's just about catchy and that's it.
So, Opalite, interestingly, is the song that people are sort of claiming as the love song from this album. You know, like if somebody, like, you know how at the end of Lover, you could tell that the song Lover and maybe the song Daylight, those are the songs that people would want to like put on their Instagram post, like announcing a wedding or like an
Yeah.
engagement or something like that. The sense I get is Opalite is that song from this album. I just have to say that the love songs on this album pale in comparison to her thinking about her fame. Like they're just not potent at all. I don't really feel the love is like a glib way of putting it, but the sense that I got in a lot of this music, even in Opalite, like the first lyric is about I like the lyric. She says that I had this tendency of going back to love's past, and my brother called it eating out of the trash.
Yeah.
Right. I like the lyric. It's like well constructed, even though I butchered it. But I do get the sense that she's singing from a place where this new love is great because it's not
her old love.
Previous love. Yeah. And
he makes a very direct reference to that in the song Honey, which I will get to.
Exactly.
Dude, I was like, how can you write that in there? What is wrong with you? Anyway, sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, but my eventual thought was, I'm like, so two things. I'm like, okay, what is this love kind of bringing to your life, right? What is it on its own? And like, you know, if a friend came and told me that this guy is amazing and he's just not like the other people, and I would ask them like, okay, but like, what do you like about this guy?
Yeah.
And there's like crickets, I would worry, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like there is this like strong, I just don't understand why we need to put down the past or constantly reference the past to assert this love.
Yeah.
Right?
And the thing is, it happens on every single love song here. Like literally every single love song is about my new partner is better than all my older boyfriends. And I was like, okay, like, is that all you have to say?
The other thing that kind of frustrates me about these love songs is that I feel like when one relationship ends and there's a period in which you can only think badly about it. In most cases, if you've had your heart broken, right? Like you will look on everything with like a very harsh, critical eye, including yourself, right? Like that happens. It's natural.
Yeah.
And it takes some time and space to then look back on a relationship with like a more like level outlook. So the only thing I was wondering is that she has written all her music in a way to train us to know who the songs are about. And if you're telling me that all your relationships were like eating out of the trash, how do you want me to feel about the song Lover or the song So Long London? Like it's incredibly jarring. Like I know you can sort of say that it's coming from different parts of her brain, but I just feel like if you're talking about love, if you're talking about Taylor Swift love songs, they have dealt with that subject in a much more substantial manner, and this only comes off as shallow.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not that this is joyful and that was sad. No, I don't think so. I think that I don't understand.
It's not. I mean, how could it ever be that black and white? Especially in her perception of it.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like that's, again, that creates a block for me as well. Like
Yeah.
I don't like the sentiment behind Opal Light. And I listened to that track by track version of this album where she explains what every song is about. And she's saying that Opal Light is man made, so you have to make your own happiness.
Mm.
And I just heard it and I'm like, that does not seem like an emotion that I don't think people should get behind. Like, that was my one thought, that
Yeah.
you don't want to manufacture
I
happiness.
think what we're saying is that Travis Kelsey is just not proving to be a great muse. Clearly, like it's not happening. It's
Yeah.
and I mean, I don't want to psychoanalyze her relationship, but once again, that's the subject matter of this album, so you can't help but do that, right?
Yeah.
It and I've also been thinking a little bit about like that thing that I said earlier, where it's like it's hard to remove Taylor from her music, which has not bothered me in the past, but some now it's like it has started to. But you know, when in our previous podcast episode, both of our number one albums was Folklore, where so much of Taylor is removed from the music, but
Yeah.
it's still kind of there. And I think you said this, where it's like you don't need to get into this album having known any of the lore around Taylor. Like you
Yeah.
can just listen to it in isolation. And I feel like what's happened is since then, it's become harder and harder and harder to do that. Like I actually thought I hoped that was the direction that she was going to go in. But she's kind of completely flipped and gone the other way, where she's just like, you know what, whatever I throw at my fans, they will eat that shit up. So let me just give them everything. And I think that attitude is starting to really irritate me. So yeah. Okay. So let's get into Father Figure. I really like the song. So I think it's my favorite song on this album.
Mine as well.
Really? Okay. Nice.
Right there with you. Yeah.
It's a very different take on power dynamics. I don't think she's sung about them in this way ever before, and especially taking on the role of the more influential, stronger.
Yeah.
And in this case,
she's not the victim. She's not the
victim.
perp.
She's the perpetrator. Exactly. In this song, I think that's such an interesting spin. And I'm like, you know, this is the kind of songwriting that I enjoy from Taylor. Like, I like it when she paints a picture. I like it when she constructs a story. I like it when she gets into characterization and you can tell like who these two men are. I also like the fact that they're two men and not two women. And she's also referenced like their penises and like, you know, so it's a very interesting approach to singing about power dynamics. And you know, there's some really interesting devices also that she uses sonically. It's a very catchy tune, and it's the kind of tune that I think gets under your skin after a few listens. But I love it when she whispers like, I protect them.
Yeah, that's like menacing.
That is so menacing. I was like, wow, what a great device. Like I remember when it really hit me and I actually had like goosebumps. It was so good. And it's just a very well constructed song. I really like the bridge also. There's some really like, you know, I spoke to this, but like I remember the first time when I listened to it, the dick lyric, what is it? I can make deals with the devil because my dick's bigger. I was like, oh, what do I feel about that? But then as I've like listened to it many times since, it works. It works within the context.
It's fantastic.
It's actually a brilliant.
It's
brilliant
a great way. It's the best lyric on the album, I'd say. Like, I also love this. I love this song in every way. Every time I listen to it, I can visualize it immediately. Like, I can think of like this black and white stop motion animation type movie. Someone sitting behind a desk, you know, like taking someone under their wing. And what an amazing way to render her story, you know, with 100%. Her mentor.
100%.
And we spoke, this is clearly something that inspires her endlessly, because the other song that she wrote about this very relationship was My Tears Ricochet, which is also fantastic. And I feel like this is better than that.
I agree.
This is, and you're seeing Taylor in a role that she has not inhabited before. And I think it's more true to who she is today, right?
Yeah.
Like this like power broker, this incredibly powerful figure who is better at a man's game than the men who she was surrounded by. And like, what an assertion of power. And when she does the key change and the flipping of the chorus, which is her signature, and she says, I can make deals with the devil because my dick's bigger.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get this place surrounded. And oh my God, like this song is an amazing song for Taylor Swift to be making in this year.
Yeah. And I think it should have been the lead single. Like, if she ever just chose better lead singles, like this is the song to go with, It's a very interesting exploration of the larger Showgirl theme also, right?
Yeah.
It kind of is it's similar to also the last track on this album in terms of
like a veteran giving some kind of advice to a protege.
Yeah, a protege. But I think it's a very like this like what I said about Elizabeth Taylor, I was like, I don't know, I'm not really getting anything new from that song in terms of like her perspective on the showgirl or her perspective of herself as a showgirl. She sung about those themes before. This is new. This is interesting. This is like, I'm like, oh, there is substance to this. There's something for me to chew on and constantly think about. It's a song that the more I listen to it, the more it gives me, right? Like I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she's even thinking about possibly mentoring someone in the future and what she would be like. It's not even just a exploration of maybe possibly what she's been through, or like, and
there are multiple levels to it.
There's many layers to it, right? Like there are pop cultural references as well. Like when I listen to this song, I'm thinking, a gangster movie in the 1920s. It's very Godfather-esque. Like, so there's a lot of layers to it. It's a through and through like a highlight, and a highlight not just on this album, but I think in her discography.
Yeah. I feel like this definitely has the potential to like really rise up the ranks of her like all-time great songs.
She just 100%. Why does she never give the good songs this single treatment? I just don't understand it. Like, God.
I guess Father Figure doesn't have hit potential. I feel like it's like actually edgy. You know what I mean? And the other interesting thing...
in this pop climate, I think it could. I think that this is the kind of song that would cut through. And I don't know. I mean...
I feel like ever since, let's say, Lover, her lead singles have been like confounding, I guess, to say the least. But I feel like the other interesting thing in the context of the life of a showgirl, like the idea, I find that interesting that she's like, oh, to succeed, you kind of have to behave like a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has.
Yeah.
She has done that.
Girl boss feministed her way to the top.
Olivia Rodrigo.
Girl boss too close to the sun. And it reminds me of this like episode of Mad Men where I think I'm forgetting, this was like a side plot, like there was this character who kind of was observing Peggy and how she was behaving with Dawn, and this is a person that Dawn was sleeping with, and she gets into a car crash, and like Peggy comes and bails them out and helps them out, and she stays at Peggy's house, and she tells him that, you know what, if you want to get him to respect you, you have to behave like a man. And that was the energy of that song, and her realizing she needs to play this role.
Yeah.
It's her most like astute writing.
She needs to whip out her dick, so to speak. But no, absolutely. And you know how people say that Taylor Swift is not a quote unquote edgy personality or a singer, or like she herself has said that. That I'm not like the edgy girl, I'm not the cool girl, I'm like whatever. Yeah. I disagree. If you put out songs like this is the song that I would play in defense of that, so I think she's plenty edgy, but in her own way.
Yeah.
Okay. The next song.
Your favorite song.
Track 5. Oh my God. Ugh. Can you tell me what you think this song is about? Because I still don't fucking get it. That's my take on this
Okay.
song. I do not fucking understand what the fuck is happening in this song.
Okay. So this is I have generous reads and I have not so generous reads of
Yeah.
it. My generous read of it is that she has pretended to be a lot of things in her life, including punk on the internet and apathetic and all of those things that she said, right? And she felt the need to be that way because of some like undying need to please people around her, which she attributes to being an eldest daughter. And this love that she now has received has taught her how to laugh again and feel like a child again, and maybe feel the kind of happiness that she hasn't felt since she was a kid, because she doesn't need to pretend to be cool anymore. She can be entirely herself. That is me reading between multiple lines.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
yeah.
That was my generous read on it. My ungenerous read is it's pretty much the same, but I do think that she has kind of recognized that eldest daughter is a thing on the internet. Like, it was occupying a lot of tweets at some point, and she does this thing where she will take like internet terminology and make it like the title of her song, and it's kind of out of place. Like, I feel like she did that with Down Bad, right? So anyway, so she's basically made a song about how she felt the need to be cool.
Can I just say that on that same note, I feel like Taylor Swift does not get the internet. Like, I don't, and this comes through even on cancelled, because I'm like, if this is your definition, like, of cancelled, because it's like taken out of context, or at least she's trying to apply the same context but doing it poorly. So I'm like, you didn't really understand it in the first place. Like, you can't take such a big risk with and like an internet, like with internet lingo, and then not use it well. Like,
I actually feel like she does not understand what an eldest daughter is.
yeah.
Like, that was my lasting takeaway. I'm like, you maybe understand the internet and the fact that like certain terms go viral, which is why you've picked it up and decided to like make it the subject of a song, which is kind of about internet trends, sure. But you are an eldest daughter.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, do you understand that you are an eldest daughter, and like one affliction of being an eldest daughter isn't this compulsion to be edgy and cool on the internet?
And why does she say, I have been afflicted by a terminal uniqueness?
So
what
that
is unique about it?
So that line honestly has gotten a lot of like criticism on Reddit. So apparently that is a line that has been like drafted in the context of like addicts, addiction, and alcoholics. Like, in Alcoholics Anonymous meetings,
Right.
they describe their addiction as a terminal uniqueness, because every person who's an addict thinks that they're the only one who's going through this kind of addiction, who needs their addiction in this way. But thinking that they're the only one who's going through this and that they're unique can be terminal for them. So she's kind of like plucked that out of there.
Wow. So yeah, it's a lot of cut, snip, snap, paste it all together, this song. That's what I feel about it. And
it's no context, internet in 2016. That's what that song is.
Yeah, and honestly, the I'm not a bad bitch and this isn't savage is just, I mean, I don't know. It's not camp, if that's what you were going for. It's not she gets away with a lot, I will say. Like, I think the next song is case in point. But this, I'm like, this is inexcusable. Like, I'm sorry. Every time I listen to that hook, I'm like, I'm just cringing. Like, it's really not.
I actually think the song sounds nice.
I agree. And I will say that the bridge is a nice moment on this song.
It is, it is. And I think like my earlier criticism of like, what is this new relationship bringing to your life? And I think the idea that you can be a kid around someone or you can feel the kind of like carefreeness that you haven't felt since you were a child is something. So I'll give it that.
Yeah.
I just don't appreciate her like almost cynically dropping this internet trend into the title of a song to make it like it's slightly clickbaity. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
clickbait because I thought it was going to be about one thing. I thought it was going to be about a meditation on her role as an eldest daughter in her family, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's what my only takeaway was like this woman, I don't know if she knows what an eldest daughter is. And
Yeah.
that's kind of horrible because you are one.
Or like a parallel between being an eldest daughter and like a showgirl. Like there's so many interesting themes that you could explore with even that, right?
Yeah.
Oh well, missed opportunity, I guess.
Yeah.
Ruin the Friendship, track 6. I really like this song.
You're a fearless girly, man.
I am truly a fearless girly. This is classic Taylor, classic storytelling. I know it's an unhinged story.
Yeah.
She's fucking crazy in this song. But it's a kind of unhinged which only she can be. Like she's singing about an old friend from school and how she has all of these regrets that, you know, she didn't sort of go further because she didn't want to ruin the friendship but she should have kissed him anyway. And she sings about all of these different moments in high school, and then once she like moves out of high school, they kind of lose touch and she's living her life, and then she hears that he's passed, and that triggers something in her, and she actually flies to go to his funeral. And then she's just like, my advice is you should always ruin the friendship. I should have kissed you anyway. And, you know, I was like, I don't know, man. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's fucking crazy. But she sells it, in my opinion. I think she sells it.
I enjoy the song. I like it. I think it sounds nice. I really like the verses.
Yeah.
I love the verses. Okay. Like I love like, you know, the way in which she's like playing around with the notes.
Yeah.
I could not like when we got to that part where she says Abigail called and gave me the news, and I'm like, oh my gosh. That's when you realize what this song is, right? Yeah. That's when you realize like, oh, someone has died. Someone has died by suicide, and she's thinking about how maybe she could have kissed him, and maybe, you know, I'm like, how has your brain gone there? But okay.
Wait 1 second. He's died by suicide? How do you know that?
Because it's a dude. It's a real person. His name is Jeff something.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't get that from the lyrics though. But
and she sung about him before on Forever Winter. That's the friend. Yeah. Okay. When she says goodbye and we'll never know why. Like we'll never know why you died. Like why you killed yourself.
Oh, okay. So this is like,
yeah, it's more unhinged than you thought.
Yeah. I did not know that. I thought he just, you know, maybe just had a terminal illness or something.
No.
Okay, that makes it very dark. Fuck. Oh God. Jesus. Yeah.
I'm happy that you have discovered this live. Because I was just like, I don't want to touch this song. Like when I heard the whole thing. And you know what? If I forget the lore, even if you just put it that this is a person who's no longer alive, I cannot stand that she says my advice is to always ruin the friendship. Like it's like one of those things where she did not need to say it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if the song is called Ruin the Friendship and she's describing instances where she's hanging out with a friend and then she didn't kiss the friend and then the friend dies and then she's looking back with regret, I know what you're trying to say, Taylor.
Yeah. You don't have to be so literal about it.
And you saying it kind of makes me cringe too much.
Yeah.
In an undesirable direction. So I think if we remove that line, thumbs up to the song.
Yeah.
Not a thumbs up to the sentiment because I can't get behind this.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. Oh God. I'm going to forget this lore and enjoy this song. Let me tell you. Because what the hell?
Yeah.
God. Okay. So now we are entering Cringe Central.
We're entering the part of this tracklist that like left me bruised and broken
truly
for 2 weeks.
questioning. I'm like, oh God, just I can't defend this. I can't defend you. Actually Romantic, Charlie XCX burn track, apparently.
Or maybe Olivia
or
Rodrigo.
maybe Olivia Rodrigo. That would be fucking insane if it is about Olivia Rodrigo, in my opinion.
Or both. Likely both.
Likely both. I don't know. Some hybrid version of her, whoever the heck she has beef with. I can't keep track at this point. I do not think that this is the burn that she thinks it is. It is not.
She has like 2 cell phones in like the first 3 sentences of the song. There's some self-owning happening.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is intentional, because she's done self-owns that are intentional. Like she thinks I'm psycho because I like to rhyme her name with things. I think is a great self-own.
Yeah.
But you know, when I mean, we didn't need to know that someone called her boring Barbie, you know.
Yeah. And also, like, no offense, why is that bothering you so much? Like, I don't know. I don't know the backstory. So maybe there's like a whole bunch of shit that this person has supposedly done to her that we don't know about. Clearly there is. Because if we're going off, if this is a response to Charlie XCX's song on Brat, what's the name?
Sympathy
is a Knife.
The Knife, yeah.
If it's just that, I'm kind of like, Taylor, you know, I don't know, man. Like, that was a song where Charlie was singing about her insecurities of being around you. And this is what you come back with. And it's not even good. You know, it's like, you think I'm tacky, baby. Stop talking dirty to me.
I actually think that's funny. I laughed.
It's so, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of juvenile in the sense, like when in high school, when you would like stand up to a bully or something and you'd be like, you suck or whatever, and the bully would be like, oh, you're so obsessed with me.
I think it's intentional.
I know. Is it?
Like,
I don't know.
There's like schoolyard chanting in it. Yeah. I think it's intentional. So I'll tell you what. I think that so I don't have a problem with this song. Like, I also feel like I don't think it's a direct response to Sympathy is a Knife. Like, I don't think it's
No, it's not. It's not. I don't think so. Because I mean, I hope it's not.
It isn't. I think she just sort of references that this person has written a song about her. And yeah, I don't think it's like a rejoinder to that. But I find it interesting because I do think that this is again a new garb for Taylor. One that she has not worn. And I feel like points in this album where she is wearing like new clothes or where she is sort of accepting that she's a behemoth, I appreciate her awareness of that a lot more than her playing like this, you know, girl next door, I'm just like you, or whatever version that she is playing on some of these other songs. So actually Romantic to me is interesting because she is like sparring with another female songwriter, which I think is interesting because she's never really done that before. And I mean, forget Bad Blood. I'm putting Bad Blood out because I think that if it's Charlie and if it's Olivia, these are people who have like the talent and skill to like meet her, right? Where she is. So I find it interesting. And I do think that this is a part of the life of a showgirl. Like this, there is like something in this song that tells me that, oh, you want to know what it takes to get to the top? You kind of have to be vicious. You know, like that's like one takeaway that came to me, which is that, oh, you think you can do this by being everybody's friend? You can't. You think you can do this with people being your friend no matter what? That's not going to happen. And you know, I just found it interesting. And I feel like it is of a piece with father figure to me. I think this was an actual risk that she took. I don't think it's like the sickest burn in the world.
Yeah.
I do think that Charlie XCX would be thrilled. Okay. She would be thrilled.
You think?
To be Charlie XCX outwardly talks about how much she thinks meta narrative and world building is a part of music. If she is going head to head with the biggest pop star in the world, she is a part of history in a way that she wasn't before.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think Charlie would be thrilled. Like, I don't think I think that she understands exactly what it would mean for her trajectory as a pop star to have been referenced, even obliquely. I don't know how I feel if this is targeted at Olivia. Okay, like that is a different.
No, that's
Yeah.
Are people talking about that? I have fully missed this on the internet.
Yeah. Because it sounds like an Olivia song, right? Like the chants, the guitars, like it's like this rollicking thing. So, and she does that, right?
But she's talking about this person snorting coke. I mean, that's the most like.
Yeah, but then the chihuahua in a purse is not exactly Charlie XCX, is it?
But the cocaine, I mean, come on. Like,
yeah, like you can have one verse about one person and another verse about someone else. Like it's not just like one thing she's writing about. I think it's about like her ops, you know, like the people, her haters. Like haters gonna hate and I'll hate them back, you know.
Yeah.
She's not shaking it off.
Clearly.
But
follow your own advice, Taylor.
My biggest thought, okay, like I wouldn't say I was like entirely comfortable when I first heard it. I was like, why are you fighting? Like, you know, that was my initial thought. But my next thought was, I'm like, oh, I totally think Charlie can hold her own. You know?
No,
she 100% can.
She absolutely fully can. But I'm not at all opposed to Taylor writing a diss track. I just think, I don't know, I just felt kind of juvenile to me. Like it just, like I said, right? Like it's not that sick of a burn.
But that's Taylor. Like that's, you know, and the thing is, she always retreats into being juvenile when she wants to diss someone. That's what this is why we can't have nice things is. It's like they're all cut from the same cloth. Even We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, all of these songs have the same like playground chants in them.
That's true. Yeah.
That's what she does. This is like a Taylor, like it's almost like a classic Taylor device. It's just that, yeah.
Goes back into high school, man. Jesus. Yeah, it's always the bully versus getting like, yeah.
But she's the bully. I think she accepts that she's the bully here. When she's like, oh yeah, you're like a toy chihuahua barking at me. Like I think she's sort of owning the fact that she's like the bigger, not the bigger person morally, but the bigger person in stature and like commercial weight
and influence. Yeah. Okay. 8th track on the album is Wishlist.
I hate this song.
Sanaya's. This is your most hated song, or was it cancelled?
No, I think it's cancelled.
Yeah, it's cancelled.
But I really hate Wishlist as well. This was the first song that made me start like it made it difficult to listen to the rest of the album. Yeah.
And this is the song which is sort of triggering a lot of conversation about, I mean, themes of trad wifism, her sort of singing about like an overt, like her very overtly embracing domesticity, almost in direct contrast to other things, right? Where she's saying like, oh, these people, they want that Palm Dior, they want like success. And
that's a lie.
Firstly, it's a lie, right? Like
she wants it.
Absolute. I mean, of course, that's been her whole fucking career. That's been the whole past fucking 5 years of whatever the hell the re-records and like owning your own masters was. Like this woman has always cared about being financially independent and making money moves. That's who Taylor Swift is.
And she cares about awards recognition.
Absolutely. She cares about all of that. So they want that blah, 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 blah. But I don't want any of those things. I just want you. Which fine, if it just stopped there, okay. If it stopped there, okay. But I think where it gets like, just it enters like a very weird territory is when she says, have a couple kids, get the whole block looking like you. Which, you know, again, I am actually I was always interested in knowing or like wanting to hear her perspective on domesticity and marriage and like how she would sing about it, because why not? Like, why shouldn't women be able to also sing about that and embrace it? I think that's fine. I think this is just a touch. I don't know.
She's waded into very charged waters, is
Yeah.
what she's done. And I don't think she's done it knowingly. Like I would say that this is not something that she's in complete control over in terms of how it's being perceived. I will say that this song, I think, was like a turning point
Yeah.
for me in my fandom.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like, I'll tell you what happened to me is that I feel like I saw Taylor Swift in a certain way, and maybe you could say that, you know, you were, you know, giving her too much of the benefit of the doubt, and that she was always like a slightly like traditional, small c conservative white woman, you know, country musician. But I kind of saw her as like a very young person who had like fantastical ideas about marriage. And a lot of her career was the dismantling of that fantasy, right? As she had more and more real experiences, which is why like Love Story was based on her just dreaming something up. But when it came down to her singing about her own experiences, you were seeing things like Mine or Dear John or even Clean or everything on Lover, you know, that the reality of love is like very different from the fantasy of it. And especially in the, I want to say like Midnights onwards, there's like her really grappling with the idea of marriage in a way that she hadn't been before, right? She was talking about that 1950s shit, which is, you know, the driveway with the basketball hoop and the couple kids and the whole block looking like you. Like, that's 1950s shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, it is, right? And to see this come up in her music in such a direct way was, I don't know, it just made me wonder, like, was everything else what was it? Was it you putting something on? Like,
I think this is her putting something on, if I would say so myself. Like, I don't know if the rest of it was a lie. I think, I don't know, it's complex, right? Because there may even be hidden desires. Like, she sings on this album itself where she says that, you know, I in the past have said that I didn't want to get married, but that was a lie.
yeah, that's your favorite song, Eldest Daughter. Yeah.
Where she says that. And I think I actually was like, okay, I'm glad you like I think I appreciate that kind of honesty, right? Because it is a complex thing also to be firstly a woman, but contend with, if I'm doing this thing, is it a feminist choice? And like embracing domesticity, can I do, like, there's so many narratives that are going on in a woman's head also. And I feel like sometimes the feminist movement also doesn't allow for the gray to trickle in. But like, we exist in a sea of gray as women, right? Like, we are treading these like waters constantly. And if you are to get married, that institution is dated, and the institution is like inherently sexist and misogynistic. So you have to deal with those things. And like, the thing is that it has like, even if you are a woman who is a feminist, and the larger feminism movement has to allow for women to be able to kind of tread these waters in sometimes even I don't know, like in a like, maybe not in the most perfect way, you know. So I do think that some of the response to this album was very like hypercritical, almost as if like Taylor has fully changed and become a different person. I was like, no. She's still a billionaire. She still did all of those things that she did over the past 5 years. Yes, she's singing about it. Yes, it's kind of uncomfortable. We don't fully get it yet. And it could also just be a response to her new environment, her changing aspirations, but maybe she's not able to fully articulate it, which is again absurd, right? That she's not able to do that, but like she's not able to fully articulate it yet in the way that is true to her. I feel like that.
So I feel like one thing that tends to happen, right? Like in terms of this discourse, specifically the trad wife one, I feel like what you're talking about, the reception being either it is Taylor is becoming a trad wife and the trad wives are like claiming her, right?
Yeah.
Like, yay, you've come on our side, Taylor. Or it's this like criticism on the other end, which is like, Taylor has now entered her trad wife era. This is the most anti-feminist thing that's ever happened. I do have to say though, I don't think Taylor is making a statement, a discursive statement consciously over here at all. But I do think she is a lightning rod that is reflecting something, right? She did not decide to write this song to say, I'm entering my trad wife era. She probably wrote about the way she feels, right? But I do think that the language that she has used to describe the kind of domesticity she envisions for herself is reflective of some very charged things that are happening. And I don't think she knows that this is happening, but I do think it's true that this is reflecting larger trends, right? So I do think that you're talking about the number of kids you're going to have with someone. That is 100% a huge political like issue in your country right now. She doesn't know it. She doesn't know it, but it is true that there are people who are talking, there's the natalist movement that people are talking about having as many kids as possible, right? So that you have more, because there is like this crisis of the falling birth rate or whatever. JD Vance is a follower of that. Elon Musk is a follower of that. Elon Musk has 12 kids or something like that, like an endless amount of children. But she has tapped into it. When that happens, and you are selling 4 million copies, you're going to be analyzed. Because
absolutely.
I think she's a feminist. She probably is a feminist. Maybe she calls herself a feminist. I don't know what she does in her private life, right? I don't think that sentiment is a feminist one. I don't think so. And I don't think that, I don't expect her to make a feminist critique through her music and her albums or whatever.
She doesn't need to do that.
She doesn't need to do that. And I feel like what she is kind of singing about, which is again incredibly charged, is a heteronormativity, right? Very traditional idea of marriage, very traditional idea of domesticity. And it could have been like, for someone in her position who leads an extraordinary life, like she could have wanted like many different things. But the fact that she wants this particular thing is significant, because if we think about the trad wife influencer, right? The trad wife influencer is not a trad wife because she's making like buttloads of money. But everyone who's in her audience, they don't earn money the same way the influencer does.
Yeah, but the thing is, Taylor could literally never be a trad wife. Like that's just not possible.
Yeah, but she's an influencer.
Right. And I mean, it is scary that there are trad wife magazines that have claimed this album, right? Like that is also like
nobody working at that. Like so it's not got to do with the money that you're earning, right? Like it's because trad wives, it's about an aesthetic. And it's the only thing traditional about the influencers is their like childbearing.
Yeah. I think what really comes through is her ignorance, man. And just the fact that she is an incredibly privileged, white, rich woman and is completely out of touch. Like that's what's coming across in this album. But it is alarming for sure that she has not thought critically about these lyrics, because she does sing. She says things like they want that complex female character. Like actually what is, I think the sentiment comes through more so in the verse than it does in the chorus, because of what she wants and how it's juxtaposed against like what others supposedly want, which is to be a complex female character, to win awards, to have freedom and live off the grid, have dogs that they call their kids, which I'm like, dude, Taylor, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, are you trying to say that people who refuse to have children and instead like are raising a family of dogs are like somewhat, I don't know, that's not the ideal sort of vision of
or those people are trying to be cool, right? Those people are trying to be edgy. And yeah, I think I took a lot of issue with this song on multiple levels, because she signed off on her endorsement of Kamala Harris as childless cat lady.
Exactly. So why it's very confusing.
Yeah.
It's a. I mean, we said this even in the previous episode where we said that like she is a bit of a chameleon, and I hate to say that about another woman, which is you kind of like there's a different font. You acquire a new track as soon as you start dating somebody different, right? And like she has kind of entered a entirely new world and territory, and who knows what kind of language and what is being accepted in within that circle, and
Yeah.
so I don't know. It's hard to wrap my head around the song. It is yeah, it confuses me. And also just when she says like you got me dreaming about a driveway with a basketball hoop, like why is this a dream for you, dude? You probably already have this. Like it's just
No, she's saying she wants a sweet, simple life,
yeah.
Which is okay. This is crazy to me because I do think that another song that is kind of about like a domestic situation is Sweet Nothing. But it does not feel like this.
No.
Right?
But this
So
is
she says you're in the kitchen humming, everyone's up to something. It's the same sentiment, right? It's the same sentiment.
Yeah. But done very, very differently. And it's actually no, it's the same sentiment, but it's saying very different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So This is she like, I don't know. I was like spinning in like outer space at this point, like no gravity. I didn't know what was happening. I was like, oh my God. Like, cause one of the reasons why I feel like something that like really fueled my fandom of her was the fact that she was a woman like, who had these ideas as like a person in her 20s, but she got into her 30s and she was really reckoning with the scripts that we are sort of fed, right, as young women. And she was living a life that was completely different from any script that was laid out for her, or what anyone would have expected of her. And I just felt like, oh wow, okay, you want, this is, I don't know what your, when you were grappling with yourself for like 6, 7, 8 years, what was all of that, right? If we're coming to wish list and you're just saying that, yeah, I just want to have a bunch of kids, I just want a driveway with a basketball hoop, I just want my boyfriend, I don't want anything else. Like, it's not the deep emotional revelation that the song thinks it is. It's just not.
I think she feels freer to sing about these things.
Yeah.
That's possibly what it is. And also she is like, if anything, I wouldn't say I've stopped being a fan, but she is a complex female character because of this.
Yeah.
Like inside her there are two wolves, and that's exactly what I was talking about earlier, which is like much like any other woman, man. Like we are constantly grappling with even our own internalized sexism at any given point in time. So it's like, it is, I don't know. Let's see how things evolve, I guess, from here.
Yeah. There's a wedding coming up.
There's a wedding coming up.
Yeah.
So, okay, next song is Wood. Oh man. God.
I'm just not straight enough for this song, is all I'll say. Like, it's
not even a really sexy song. She has written other songs which are very, very sexy and sexually charged without
Guilty as sin.
Guilty as sin. I mean, dress. Like without it being so like overt. And see, if you ignore the song, ignore that the song is about Travis up until the point where she talks about being armatized, it's fine. It's kind of cheeky. There's like a little fun tune to it or whatever. But after that, it really fucking like, oh my God, it just nosedives.
This song is a dick joke.
Yeah. So this is her trying to be a pro. That's what I'm getting from this song, where she's just like, I'm like this, oh my God, Travis gonna like listen to this and he's gonna like crack up. It's gonna be so funny.
Oh my God. I think it's again, like when you're listening to it and you listen to the first lyric and she's talking about daisies and, he loves me not, and the black cat who laughed at her. And I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Taylor. And then when she starts with forgive me if I sound cocky, and it's just one dick joke after another, and
Yeah.
you think that it's going to end, but then it just doesn't
Why does it need
for the rest of
why
the
were there
song.
so many metaphors for like redwood tree? His love was the key that opened my
Magic
thighs.
wand.
A magic
No,
wand.
it was a magic wand.
New heights of
the-
manhood is like it's criminal. That's
Yeah.
like that's disgusting, dude. Like
if I wrote a poem, would I name drop our podcast in it? Is the question. Is that
oh god,
is this what we've come to? Like I found that offensive. I actually did, because I was like,
it is offensive.
I have not come to this party for this man. I have just not.
No, and also his love was the key that opened my thighs. Is like that gave me the ick, dude. Why have you written this lyric? Can you like imagine reading this lyric, and I don't know, 5 years ago I think I would have a heart attack, like thinking that like, okay, Taylor would ever pen down something like this.
I mean, she did write the words like, what if he's written mine on my upper thigh, only in my mind. Like, this is not the first thigh reference.
No, but okay, very different lyric, dude.
but my point, yeah, I get it. I get that she's like referencing like literal fucking
yeah
in this lyric, but yeah, so Travis Kelce, I guess we have to address him. I feel towards Travis Kelce the way I feel towards like when Americans like talk about cheeseburgers. Like
this is the bite. This is the bite. Okay, yes.
Yeah. So when it's just like one of those things where I'm like, maybe you have to be American to understand the appeal, because otherwise, like if someone describes a cheeseburger to me, like I love burgers, I love meat. Okay, I eat meat, but when they describe like a greasy cheeseburger, and I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't want to eat it. Like, I understand that it's beloved by many, but I personally don't understand it. And that's how I feel about Travis Kelce.
So you're saying Travis Kelce is a greasy cheeseburger?
He probably is, right?
He probably, you know what? Yeah. He probably, yeah.
I mean, he's a football player. I'm sure he sweats.
That is a great...
Yeah, I mean, but so when an incredibly sexual song is written about said cheeseburger, I just cannot do it. I'm not on board. And the other thing is that I just don't like that this is, like when kids start swearing for the first time and they're like, wow, that saying that word is fun. This song has that vibe to it, which is, oh my God, I can actually make dick jokes like on a song. Like, and I find it very interesting because I know that we didn't speak about this in Actually Romantic, where she talks about how like someone like hating her as much as they do makes her wet. Taylor singing about getting wet or singing about like a man's dick is having this reaction in us. But Sabrina, the first lyric of the song Tears is, I get wet at the thought of you being a responsible guy. And nothing happened. Like the wind did not blow in any different direction. No one batted an eyelid. Everybody was just calm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think that I feel like I mean, should we hold Taylor responsible for that we're not used to receiving this from her? Or is she just not good in this role?
I think there is something inauthentic about it. I feel like I said, right, it was cheeky up to a certain point. It was working, and then suddenly it just went too far, right? Like it was, I don't think any Sabrina song has these many metaphors for a
Oh
penis.
my God. I beg to differ. The song House Tour is nothing but metaphors.
Oh, okay. I don't know that song then. But I mean, yeah, I just feel like this was a little poorly executed. And the thing, okay, I'll tell you what it is. It doesn't feel like her voice. That's why like
I
songs
think
like
she's trying to
Father
do
Figure.
Sabrina. I think
Yeah,
she's
like
trying to do
a
a Sabrina
father
here.
figure or like a Ruin the Friendship, even actually Romantic for that matter, even though I'm not a fan of that song, it's still in her voice, right? The thing that I think is also bothering me about this album is that one is she at many points has trivialized her own emotions or simplified her expression, I think, to better appeal to said cheeseburger man. Like I literally think that's what it is. Like I feel like it's just, I think if I wrote this song for Travis, he would love it. But but that actually makes me question, because I don't think she's ever really been in that position before. I think the songs just kind of like came out of her, whether it was for a song or for a man that wronged her or for a man that she was very much in love with. And again, I do not want to psychoanalyze her relationship, but I feel like I'm in this position and I also do not like that, because this is what this album is triggering for me. You know?
Yeah. I will say that when she sang about relationships before, I always felt like she was still singing about herself. And this album doesn't feel that way. It feels like he's such a character in the songs that like this is not why I got on the train, man.
I didn't sign up for this. Yeah, for sure.
This unsolicited dick pic.
I can't imagine this being anyone's favorite Taylor Swift song. Like, you know what I mean? Like for this song to be a part of someone's journey. I don't know. It's just not.
I do. So, this is very interesting. I have come across like there have been so many analyses of this album, right? Like, and one of them is that different age groups react to this album in a different way. And like you and I are having a very like millennial reaction, but like people older, like wine moms, the actual wine moms, are having like a wow, this is such a great album, we love it. And like I think some kids are enjoying the melodies, like even of the song would. So I feel like it is this age group that is around Taylor's age that is having this like visceral negative reaction. But I find, like, again, to be seen how this album ages. Like, it's not aged well for you and me over a month. I don't know what happens,
I mean, there's also that then, and I think a big thing is that we are not white women. Dude, like I do think that that's a big, I'm feeling that disconnect with her music for the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? And I haven't felt that disconnect with her previous albums. And she is like, people
She
have
has always been white. Yeah.
She's always, of course, when people have always kind of criticized her for being exactly that, and kind of, it's like, oh, she's just a very stereotypical white woman singing about love. What's interesting about that? And I, like, all of our defenses have always been, no, she has something interesting to say. But I think for the first time, I'm like, oh, I don't relate to this space at all. Like
that
this is,
that's my issue with her saying that, actually in my heart I'm a basic girl. Like all those other like complexities about me, like it makes me wonder. I'm like, okay, what do you mean? Like when you're saying that I'm going to own my basicness, like, are you disavowing everything else that made us fans?
Yeah.
What does this mean?
It's a confusing album, because there are, like, again, with Father Figure, that's not a basic song. Like, it's not. So I don't know. It's just, anyway, speaking of being an out of touch, very privileged white woman, the next song on this track list is
Can we cancel this song?
We should cancel this song. Yeah. She needs to redact it from her track list and her discography, I think.
Yeah.
This song is called Cancelled. It's the worst song she's ever written in her entire life.
I hate it.
In my opinion. Where she's basically singing about running with her underworld. Why?
What is she?
What does she mean by that?
Okay, what's the worst lyric in this album? Welcome to my underworld where it gets quite dark.
What is dark? What is dark about
like,
it?
you're calling it an underworld and you're describing said underworld as quite dark. And I know you've written that so that you can like rhyme dark with matching scars or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't want to see your brushstrokes, Taylor. And I can see them, right? Like, this is sloppy. The chorus is like Disney villain esque.
Yeah.
The verses are
Good
disgusting.
thing I like my friends cancelled.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
the
hate
chorus.
I hate this song. It reminds me again, Disney villain is what I'm getting when she says "Welcome to my underworld," where it gets quite dark. My only image was, when you put your head under the blanket because the sun's come out, and your underworld is you under the blanket, where it's quite dark, but it's not completely dark. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, what have you written? What do you
It's unforgivable. Or is she describing her underworld to be like her and her group of like so-called cancelled friends, aka
Yeah.
Blake Lively? I don't know. I
Or
I
is it
don't
like
know
is it Brittany Mahomes? But like, why are
that.
you?
Why would you
What
want
is
to
going
defend
on?
that? And this is a out and out absolute cringe listen. It's very hard to actually even. It's too hard to even listen to the song. And the thing is, she uses all of the words that you would use to actually describe the song, where she says tone deaf and hot. Like, we come across as tone deaf and hot, and soon you learn the art of never getting caught. And it's almost as if, hey, I'm one step ahead of you. I know that I'm coming across as tone deaf, and like, you know, I'm
This
owning it.
is this
And
is
I was
for
like,
her 17-year-old fans to defend her if someone does call her tone deaf. Like, she called herself tone deaf first.
I
Yeah,
don't get it, dude. Like, what was the purpose of this song? Where
it's
is it
rage
even
bait.
coming from? But where is
It's
it coming from in her psychology? That's the thing that I don't understand.
Yeah, and this version of cancelled, like, you have to come up to speed.
Yeah,
Like, this is like not 2018 anymore. And more
dude, even
importantly,
before 2018, like,
it's not 2016, it's not
yeah,
2018. Today, like, again, in your country, I'm not even like, you don't even need to be keeping abreast of world affairs. In your country, people are getting cancelled, like, literally, in terms of their shows getting cancelled, their freedom of speech being impinged, them getting killed. Okay, like, this is the reality that you exist in.
Hmm.
You know this is happening.
Yeah,
Why would you put this song out?
yeah.
What are we
Uh,
talking about here?
I again, I don't know. I don't get it.
And I mean, okay, thematic, like, sins aside, that verse melody when it starts is one of the most irritating things I've ever heard.
Yeah,
It's so terrible.
yeah.
It's like it's like, yeah, I think it's sloppy more than anything else. I think, like, that above everything, it's like such a sloppy song. It
Mm.
just, yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on from this song. The next
Yeah.
song is the second last song in this album, called Honey.
Honey.
What do you think of this song?
I don't mind. So, okay, one overall takeaway from this album was that, funnily enough, I feel like I cannot listen to it as an album because it just grinds my gears.
Yeah.
But like, if these songs appear on like Spotify playlists, I somehow am like kinder to them because they feel a little more generic and they fit into
removed from their context.
Yeah, they're removed from their context, and I feel like it's good for them for
Yeah.
that to happen. And I also feel like this is like some of Taylor's most like generic, like, sounding or generically written like songs, like, because they're so surface level, right? So I feel like Honey is one such song which I heard randomly, and I'm like, hey, this is pleasant. I like it. Like, I'm not offended. And also, this comes at the end of, like, I guess, a run of incredibly offensive songs. So
Yeah.
so I'm okay. I'm like,
I think it's a sweet
fine.
moment on the album. It's it's not a highlight, but it's not a bad moment. So I'll give it that.
Yeah.
It's I again I don't mind it. And I think it has a sweet melody to it. Also, I do think that the Matty Healy reference is hilarious. Like I cackled at that when
What's the reference?
she basically says when someone called me sweetheart or honey, it was when he was super high and calling me late at night asking me what I'm wearing. I'm paraphrasing here.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
was just
yeah.
like, okay, yeah. So
I also like the way she says honey.
yeah,
Like I like that. I like that like tone of
it's
like that melodic tone that she
yeah,
like inserts over there. That's a nice one.
it's just a sweet song on which I don't have too many
Yeah.
thoughts on. Like,
Yeah.
sure, in not offensive. Okay, last song on this album, "The Life of a Showgirl" title track, featuring
Poor
Sabrina
Sabrina
Carpenter.
Carpenter. Afterthought
Truly an
of this
afterthought.
album.
I will say, I like the way the song ends. That's a
I
nice, yeah,
I really like the way. So I like this song a
yeah,
lot. I I don't mind her saying legitly
yeah,
in the song. I
yeah,
don't mind it. But I think, when she says that everybody wanted her to die and she said, I'm immortal, I couldn't if I tried,
Hmm.
I feel like that was a really powerful moment. Like again, when she like accepts her position as this like mega, mega powerful being, I find it fascinating.
Yeah,
I also like this song has some interesting like lyrical parallels where she talks about being married to the hustle,
yeah.
which is a different idea of marriage from everything else that she was singing about
And that's
prior.
exactly what I'm saying, which is that the complexities, the female complex character that Taylor supposedly does not want to be, is 100% coming through in this album itself. You are a very complex female character.
Yeah. There's the
So,
married to the hustle. And then I also like that she talks about, like, thank you for the lovely bouquet, which is most thankfully contrasted against the bouquet that she references in Wishlist.
yeah,
Girls,
yeah,
thanks for the bouquet. I don't need a bouquet to know that a hard rock is on the way.
yeah.
And she also, and I think the other thing that she says, which I really liked, is she says sequins are forever, like signaling that her showgirl life is the thing that she knows is going to be forever.
Yeah.
You don't know if her like diamonds and lovers or whatever she references in Elizabeth Taylor, if they're going to be forever, but her sequence will be. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just a person who wants the Taylor who's married to the hustle over the Taylor who wants the basketball hoop. So this is my interpretation of it. Sue me. That's my Rorschach inkblot test. But I enjoyed this song. I like that it used the sounds from the actual concert. And I felt like I had been through something by the time I got there.
Yeah. I mean, firstly, like, again, there is a serious level of parasocialism, I think, apparent in just how we talk about Taylor and how we are dissecting her album. But I do feel like, yes, you want the Taylor that's married to the hustle, and you want the Taylor who writes the interesting love songs. But I'm also interested in the Taylor as a mother. Like, what is she going to be like? What will she write about? I just think that, like, it. And I mean, there's other artists who've written very beautifully about that sentiment, right? Like Laura Marling has written a lot of songs about domesticity, but it's done with a level of like nuance and like reflection that just does not come through on this album. It's like, it's almost like she's co-opting. She doesn't yet know. I think she doesn't yet know what that life is going to be like. So she's trying to just, she's trying to paint a picture, and she's falling back on these very, very traditional themes, essentially. That's my takeaway from it. And the thing, that's not me trying to absolve her from what she's written about, but I just feel like she's just not done a good job of like thinking critically about where her life is at. And it also tells me that this, basically, I feel like this album as a holistic, project, there's no real takeaway from it. Even the Showgirl theme, it's not very potent or powerful. It's there in like specs, but it's not a very powerful takeaway either. And so like, I just feel like it was a bit of a rushed thing. Like,
I just like this, just to end this conversation on where we think this album fits into the larger discography and why she wrote it.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about that. And I agree with you. I feel like she rushed into this.
Yeah.
I don't know what was motivating her. I feel like it's like partly to do with her feeling like she wants to have like that kind of like undeniable hit album with the undeniable hit single, right? I feel like she wanted to reassert her position within pop. There's a part of that. But often feel like when I'm listening to like, lossless audio on my headphones when I'm really listening, I sometimes feel like she sounds tired. Okay. Like she
Oh,
doesn't,
100%.
she sound like her vocals sound tired, right? It does
Yeah.
not sound like upbeat, alive Taylor.
It lacks a punch, for
The
sure.
one song where she sounds alive is to me actually romantic, which is funny. But she sounds like awake in Tortured Poets Department, and that is not an upbeat album. But this album, like, fine, you increase the BPM, but like your voice sounds like you're you're out of it a little
Yeah.
bit. And I just felt like there is something that she is putting out there, that this is like the end of some kind of chapter in her career, the end of some kind of era. Like she's already announced this like docu-series, right? And she's directly referenced that you need to close the book to end the chapter. So she is talking about this as like one section of her like career. And I really just felt like my final takeaway was she did not want to end on Tortured Poets, and she wanted to end on something else. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, because
Yeah.
why else would you rush into this?
Yeah,
And
and like very publicly is going into interviews and saying, when I wrote my last album, when it came out, that's not the headspace that I was in. But now this album, it feels great because when I wrote it, I'm in the exact same headspace. And I was like, okay. And she said this on literally every single interview. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. It's yeah.
I've been listening. In the lead up to this episode, I was listening to Tortured Poets again because, as you know, I have it on vinyl.
Yeah.
And I actually think that by removing the lore and the meta narrative around those songs, that actually helps the songs. It helps the songs like shine a little bit
Yeah.
more. I really think that album's gonna age magnificently. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna climb up. There are going to be people, because there's so much to dig through. There's so much to find. I think that whatever she says, Life of a Showgirl is like the behind the scenes of the Eras tour. I think a lot of that was there in Tortured Poets already.
Yeah. Also, one thing also stood out to me when she was describing this album, like in interviews before it came out, where she basically said it's like bangers only with like folklore type lyrics.
In interviews, this is the interview, that fucking podcast.
Oh, right. Correct. But she said some version of this in other interviews also, where she's basically said that I always thought that if I returned to pop that the writing would suffer, but it hasn't suffered. And I just felt like it was curious to me that she felt the need to like state that upfront. Like, why would you as an artist go out and say that? Like, it's an absurd, like it feels like a cover up almost. I think she instinctively in her gut knows that this was not the best execution of what these songs could have been. And like when she said that, I was just like a little suspicious. Like I was like, why do you feel it? Why are you going around saying this? This is such a weird thing to say about your own work, So
yeah.
Anyway, what is the biggest? So I mean, I guess we know our favorite song. Any other highlight about this album? I was just gonna say that I'm actually glad that it was a short album. Like, of course, I didn't enjoy the album, so for that reason also. But I did miss that kind of like compact project from Taylor.
Right.
So let's see what the future brings. But
I'm too much of a Tortured Poets apologist to like take that criticism too seriously, because I feel like I think over time it's like that double album in her discography that has a lot for many different types of people.
Yeah.
Life of a Showgirl, so the thing is, I keep thinking to myself that every time, like this woman, this, like you mentioned this in the previous episode, that, she just has insane luck, right?
Yeah.
I feel like every time she's kind of written off, like she kind of emerges in some way. And there's like a part of me which is like, what if this docu-series reveals something that makes us look at this album completely differently? And then you're like, in retrospect, this was a masterpiece. You know, like what if
Yeah.
something like that happens? So there's a part of me that's like, you know, not writing off that possibility.
But I don't know. I feel like it's still different, man. Like I think we've had contentious relationships with like albums like, I mean, by we I mean the public, with albums like Reputation and Tortured Poets and things like that. But there was still more meat and more substance. This is thin. This is like
This is definitely something. I feel like there were many ideas floating around in her head during this like 3-year window. It's really funny. Like Life of a Showgirl sounds like what you thought Midnights would sound like.
yeah.
Tortured Poets is thematically what you thought Life of a Showgirl would be, right? And I feel like she quite simply hasn't taken the time to have like
Exactly. She's
conceptual
not
clarity.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
fully agree. Okay,
Yeah.
last question before we sign off, which is we did a ranking in our last episode. If you were to rank this album, where would it fit?
You know, that's hard because I feel like I like it the least.
Yeah,
But
right now I also like it the least. Thematically.
I like it the least, but I think that it's changed the direction of her career in some way, which makes it significant.
Sorry, continue.
No, it's just that it's not like Midnights, you know what I mean? Like inconsequential on some level. But I just don't know what the significance is going to be.
Yeah. I do think it's maybe a notch above Midnights for me. I still don't like that album at all. And I feel like there's still some tracks here. Like, I mean, it has a father figure, which I think is a highlight. Like, I will be going back to that song.
You know, I do think it'll end up being like a top 10 Taylor Swift song.
Yeah.
Father figure.
Also, it's interesting that she hasn't released a second single. Do you think she will at any point, or it's done? I always thought that there was going to be 2 singles, but apparently not. So
so she hasn't released more than one single for. I mean, Tortured Poets had Fortnight, and then she kind of released I Can Do It With a Broken Heart as another single. She may. Will she do another video? I hope. Will Life of a Showgirl, because it has Sabrina on it, get a video? Let's see. There's still time. This is gonna have like a Grammys campaign. Although I just want her. There's nothing I want more from her than to like come out and announce that she's done with like awards campaigns because she's won everything she ever hoped to, and now she's only gonna live her life. You know, I want her to say something like that.
Take a break, girl. Like, seriously.
Yeah. But there's going to be a whole campaign. And if there's going to be a campaign, there will be more than one single. And yeah, breathe new life. I think once we still have like some 5 or 6 of these songs in the top 10 of the Hot 100, which is like, somebody change these rules, please, because, you know, like this is not how we should be calculating what's the most like significant song in the country or whatever. I don't know. I have like, again, like I feel like I have just had more and more thoughts about Tortured Poets. Like one thought I had was that I think Love of My Life should have been a single. I even have like I have a concept for like the video where she should have been in like this little nightie in a graveyard, and she's just like floating around, and then she sits against a headstone, and there's a person who sits on the other side of the headstone, and they never really see each other. I'm like, Taylor, just do it. Just do something like this. Come on. So she should do in that vein, she should do a father figure, like black and white, kind of like 1930s video. She's not going to do it.
Yeah.
She's not going to do that. But, you know.
Wishful thinking.
We can dream.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, friends, for listening to this episode. We will catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. Thinking People podcast is hosted by Sanaya Chandar and Ketki Sharma. Our producer for this episode is Saurav Das.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio content. Be sure to follow us at Thinking People Pod on Twitter or X, and at Thinking People Pod on Instagram. If you'd like to get in touch, write to us at thinkingpeoplepodcast@gmail.com.
Stay tuned for our next episode.